from Nashville, Tennessee. It's theTHREE. And here's your host, Laura Harris-Smith.
Hi everybody, I'm Laura Harris-Smith. Welcome to theTHREE. This is another exciting episode where we are talking to you, about what makes you tick and what ticks you off, and what your emotions do to your physical body. We dove in deeply last time between what the science says, what the scriptures says. Remember, God said in Exodus, you're a stiff-necked people, and he's talking about them being stubborn. Well, yeah, I mean, that's long been known that if you're a stubborn person, how many people have you seen with arthritis or neck issues, and they are kind of obstinate people? God is the one who said that himself. Not that everybody who has a stiff neck is that way. I'm just saying it can aggravate it. And honestly, when you dissect it all, it could be a matter of if you are in some sort of strife or relational upset in your life, or you're angry about something, yeah, you're probably not sleeping well at night, and you're tossing and turning, and so your neck is going to hurt when you wake up. So there's the practical side of this, and then there is the deeply spiritual side, and I just want you well. So we're exploring all of it this week, and I'm going to pick up where we left off at the end of the last episode, which was that I love this website that I have found called the BC Campus. It's actually a website from British Columbia, and it's a government agency. They actually work to post all kinds of teaching and learning guides, written literature, things that can help professionals and students, mostly students, but like myself, I'm a health professional, and I'm looking at these studies and just thinking how wonderful it is. So look at this chart. This is one that they have labeled the mental health continuum, and it just shows how you go from being a healthy person, no distress. I mean, we all have stressors, but no major distress. You're just functioning normally. And then next is the category of mental distress, which is a mild, okay, and common reversible distress. We each experience those things as well. If it's something that continues to be an issue and progress and happens more often, it's considered a mental health problem. It's the moderate category, and they say it is significant functional impairment. You're unable to function. And then if it gets really progressed, it's severe, it's considered mental illness. Now, this is when you have severe and persistent functional impairment. So last time we talked about what the BC Campus said and how it defined things like anxiety, different anxiety disorders, depression, panic attacks, OCD, ADD, ADHD. Go back and look at that episode if you've not already. We upload everything on our YouTube channel like about a week after it airs. We like it to cycle through the networks first on air, and then we post it for you. And we want you to have this information. So if you didn't get it, go back because it's good info defining what those things are. And so just so you'll know, let's go over these mental health terms. When we're talking about that first one, no distress, and that healthy place, most of us are in this state most of the time. They say, in fact, this is when we're having fun with our friends and families, engaging at school or work, enjoying ourselves, reflecting on the day's events, or even being asleep. And then we can cope with whatever comes our way. We can do the things we need or want to do. And so that is, I think, the state that most of us live in all of the time. And if you can live there, then you're going to notice that your body is more at peace. You're not walking around in strife that can lead to sickness. I hope you're hearing me here on this. The next step is when you move into some mild mental distresses. Now look at this. This is still common and reversible, distress, but when we experience daily mental stress and we feel sad, disappointed, angry, or overwhelmed in the moment, these experiences of stress are to be expected at times in our lives, and they may be common and reversible, and they usually are temporary, okay, like during an exam time. We can maintain hope that when it's over, we'll be better, right? The stressor will come to an end, and there's usually some relief there. So when you're experiencing this it's completely normal. We all go through times of mental distress. It happens, but there's this hope that, okay, we got to deal with it and then we'll be over it, right? So we may not need intervention. They're just saying here, we usually, if you're healthy, you're resilient enough to cope. And let me just add this, that as Christians, we better be able to cope and go to our Heavenly Father with things. My son was talking to someone recently. They experienced some of the wildfires out in California. So this was actually many months ago. But they were calling him from their therapist's office. He was about to have to go out there, and they said, well, I can't meet because I'm at my therapist's office, and so don't even fly out here. I got to cancel our meeting. And this was a secular company. He was flying out there to do something for them, and he said, oh, okay, I'll be praying for you. And there was like cricket, radio silence on the other end of the phone. They did not have a slot for praying through distress. You better, as a child of God, go to your Heavenly Father. Surely, you know that you can go to Him with the distresses of life. So we're still at that part of the continuum. Remember, this is mild mental distress. This isn't mental illness. We're not even there yet. We're just experiencing life. I think they call this life, right? So now let's talk about once it moves on into a mental health problem. This is the moderate stage. There's significant functional impairment. And you see here, mental health problems may arise when a person is faced with a much larger stressor than usual. These occur as a part of normal life, still normal life. But in response to, let's say, the death of a loved one, moving to a new country, having serious physical illness, and these things, these large stressors, can sometimes bring strong negative emotions, such as grief, anguish, desolation. So these emotions are characterized by, just look at this, cognitive thinking. For example, nothing will ever be the same. I don't know if I can go on in life. Physical side effects might be sleep problems, loss of energy, numerous aches and pains. Behavioral issues might arise like social withdrawal, avoidance of usual activities, angry outbursts. So sometimes someone experiencing a mental health problem will exhibit these noticeable difficulties in everyday functioning. BC Campus is telling us, and medical treatment is usually not necessary, but sometimes it may be. So we're still, keep in mind, at this point where life is happening to you, and you are now, this is a major thing that has happened, and I'm just going to tell you, I've been here before in my life, and I still choose to go to the Lord and choose hope. But if someone has been beaten down and beaten down and beaten down and never affirmed and never loved and never, perfect love casts out fear. So if you don't have perfect love in your life, you better have it from the Lord, because that's the only reason you're not going to be fear-ridden. So this is where this is the tipping point. You either learn to cope and rely on the Holy Spirit's help, or get medical help if you need it, or you're going to venture into the next category we're going to be talking about after the break, which is mental illness. So come right back after the break. I want to explore what mental illness is, what it is not, and what God can do for you if you are struggling there. All right, we'll be right back after the break.
Some people don't yet realize that essential oils were put by God into our leaves, trees, flowers, and grasses on the third day of creation, all to promote health, provide prevention, and yes, even cures. Other people get that, but maybe they've never had any real success with one particular essential oil, which is why I create oil blends, giving you a better chance for a positive result with numerous health benefits. But there's one thing we all agree upon, and that is that essential oils smell good. They fill up a room with any mood that you need, anytime that you need it. We call it aromatherapy. But maybe you don't know the science behind why aromatherapy works. You see, we inhale through our nasal passages, and the nasal passages have direct access to the limbic brain, which is the emotional center of the brain. This means that scent is immediately tied to mood, but that's good news because you can change your mood by merely changing the aroma in your room. It's like therapy in a bottle. And that's why we call it aromatherapy. At Neuromatics Oil, we take the business of aromatherapy very seriously. We offer you a wide variety of options. Candles, diffuser sets, nasal inhalers, even diffuser jewelry so that you can wear your essential oils all day long. Quiet Brain for natural relief from insomnia, anxiety, headache, and more. Happy Brain to lift mood and even help with appetite suppression and depression. And Sharp Brain to help with focus and cognitive memory issues. Naturally, the oil blends themselves, applied topically on the skin, are going to provide faster and more potent relief. But if you're looking for a way to enjoy our oil blends without using them on the skin, aromatherapy is for you. And Neuromatics Oil has you covered. Go to neuromaticsoil.com today or use your phone and scan the QR code on your screen with your camera app. Or call 1-855-784-3827. That's 1-855-QUIET Brain.
1-855-784-3827. That's 1-855-QUIET Brain.
Did you know that there are more than 600 Bible references to aromatic plants and essential oils? Did you know that once upon a time they were our only medicines? They're still medicine today. You see, God made plants and their essential oils to support your health. They're drug-free remedies that can be used from the comfort of your own home with little to no side effects. And although only 5% of natural products get patented, my oil blends, Quiet Brain, Happy Brain, and Sharp Brain, did, because third-party lab tests proved that they crossed the blood-brain barrier with potent relief for everything from migraines to memory loss, insomnia, anxiety, seizures, weight problems, even depression. So go to neuromaticsoil.com today to see my patented oil blends, and there are dozens of therapeutic products, healing lotions, bubble baths, nasal inhalers, even shampoo and conditioners, all created by our family for the health of yours. Go to neuromaticsoil.com or use your phone and camera app to scan the QR code on your screen, or call 1-855-784-3827. That's 1-855-QUIET Brain.
Hey guys, Dr. Laura here. You're watching The3 and we are talking about mental health and how it affects your physical health. And particularly, we were looking at one study from BC campus on the mental health continuum, and we're talking about that stage where you go from something bad happens during your day to, oh no, I can't cope, to full-blown mental illness. This doesn't happen overnight. Everybody goes through hard things. But look at what they say mental illness is. This is severe, persistent functional impairment. A mental illness is very different from mental distress and from a mental health problem. It arises from a complex interplay between a person's genetic makeup and the environment in which they live or have been exposed to. Mental illness, also a mental disorder, is a medical condition diagnosed by a trained health professional, such as a doctor, a mental health clinician, a psychiatrist, or a nurse, psychologist. So they use internationally established diagnostic criteria. So people with mental illness will require the best evidence-based care from properly trained healthcare professionals or providers. So yes, you need help. You need help from the Lord. You need help from a medical professional. But what I would urge you to do before you just go somewhere and get on some medication, and I've had people who have gotten, friends of mine that got on like antidepressants, and I do believe it saved their lives, but they used it like a trampoline, not a hammock. They didn't stay on it forever, or for years. They got on it to just maybe do away with the suicidal thoughts, and then they began to work with the Lord, with maybe a Christian counselor, on what was causing these self-harm tendencies, okay? So again, here's another BC campus chart: mental health versus mental health problems versus mental illness. And you can see how we all have the capacity to think, feel, and act in ways that's going to be flexible. It's going to change. You're a human being. Then it can move into mental health problems where you seem to have a diminished capacity to deal with those things and being unable to enjoy life, into full-blown mental illness, which affects your thinking, feeling, mood. It can be depression, anxiety, PTSD. We've looked at so many things on today's show. And so I just want to urge you, instead of saying, I've got so much going on in my life, I can't concentrate on, I guess I'm ADHD. No, and not just, my boyfriend isn't returning my texts, I'm so depressed. No, you're not depressed. And we talked about not saying you're OCD just because you like to be organized. Hey, we all experience those emotions, but let's not normalize those things, and which I do believe some people are now going to their doctors and saying, I think I'm OCD. And then a doctor writes them a prescription. Hopefully they're a good doctor and won't just do that. But let's call it what it is. which is that we just need God to be in control of our emotions and our thoughts. And then we're not putting labels on things we don't need to. And those people who do need professional help can get it and not feel made fun of. I'll put it that way. So a lot of these, I just want to give media attribution. Some of that came from the American Psychiatric Association. I do appreciate their work. And I wanted to credit them there. Now, there is a doctor. His name is Dr. Ken McGill. I do not know Dr. Ken. He's an ordained ministry, has multiple degrees. He had a practice in Plano, Texas. I don't know where he is now. But he has this wonderful, I call it the wheel of feelings. I think he calls it the feelings wheel. I'm not sure. But I love this because he has taken a look at all the different emotions, all their various hairdos, and then look in the middle. They all boil down to these 6: sad, mad, scared, peaceful, powerful, or joyful. Now, I want to tell you that there's another one very similar to that, and I actually found this on Etsy. I urge you to go. I'm going to give you her little store in a minute, but look at this one. There's a gal on Etsy, and she has created what's called the Bible Emotions Wheel. I love this because very similar to Dr. Ken, you see this one that is his is probably based on a lot of the same things. I just like what this gal has done in that she literally has given each of the emotions scriptures. Now look, she has 6 in here: calm, sad, fear, look right in the middle, happy, strong, and anger. And out of those you see which illnesses stem from which core emotions. And then from those, look on the perimeter, you see scriptures. You see that when feeling confused, you can go to 1 Corinthians 14:33. When feeling rejected, you can go to John 15:18-21. I'm up here in the purple section in the top right. I also appreciate about this chart that there's no red and green on it. My husband is colorblind with a red-green deficiency. So I'm happy that there's got to be somebody else out there watching who is, and hopefully all of you can see this now because there's no real red and green. So, all right, you want that chart. You can actually order it from Etsy. It's so inexpensive, just $6.99. Go to Nestled in Grace Prints. She doesn't know I'm doing this, but I'm going to throw some business her way. You need to download this. You need to put this up in your house. And whenever you are experiencing one of these emotions, instead of saying, oh my goodness, I'm so OCD, or oh my goodness, I'm so depressed, or oh my goodness, I need to take this pill, or I need to call this. Listen, take something, call someone if you absolutely have to. But what if there was a tool in your hand and you could ingest the Word of God and not have to get to that place of extreme mental health? Remember, we discussed everybody is distressed. But then there's that journey on that continuum towards mental illness, and we want to keep you from getting there. So come right back after the break. We're going to be studying more about how your emotions affect your health right after the break.
So you're on our website trying to select your favorite products, or maybe put a gift package together for a friend. Well, we've done the work for you. Our Pause package encourages rest and contains 1 Quiet Brain Healing Lotion, therapeutic bubble bath, and a Quiet Brain 50-hour burn candle. Our Uplift package gives you a real mood boost with a Happy Brain candle, healing lotion, and bubble bath. The Self-Care package contains the Quiet Brain Healing Lotion, bubble bath, and healing shampoo and conditioner. Our Awaken package is made with our Sharp Brain Blend and includes 1 nasal inhaler, 1 dropper bottle of oil, 1 bottle of healing lotion, and a Sharp Brain candle. The Sweet Dreams package is popular because it contains 1 dropper bottle of Quiet Brain oil, 1 satin sleep eye mask, and a copy of my best-selling book, Seeing the Voice of God, What God is Telling You Through Dreams and Visions. And don't forget our Quiet Brain gift box, our best value, with a sampling of almost all Quiet Brain products. 1 Whisper Quiet Nightlight Diffuser, 1 dropper bottle of oil, a nasal inhaler, candle, shampoo and conditioner set, and even a satin sleep eye mask. But my personal favorite is our trio oil sets that allow you to sample all 3 of our patented Neuromatic oil blends while only paying for 2. They're available in dropper bottles, rollerball bottles, and our eyedropper pump bottle. Scan the QR code on your screen, go to neuromaticsoil.com, or call 1-855-784-3827. That's 1-855-QUIET-BRAIN.
1-855-784-3827. That's 1-855-QUIET-BRAIN.
Hey Hey guys, welcome back from the break. I'm Laura, you're watching theTHREE, and we're talking about mental health today. We're talking about emotions, frankly, and how your emotions, if left unchecked, can make you sick physically. And so you have to start looking at the connection between your nervous system, your endocrine system, so your emotions release hormones, and then your immune system, which means that you are now, through this hormonal release, compromising your immune system's ability to fight off sickness. So yes, that thing you're angry about could very well over time cause sickness in your body. We read about how in Proverbs 14:30, it talks about, the Bible talks about how a tranquil heart is life to the body, but jealousy is rottenness to the bones. Sometimes it's envy is rottenness to the bones. One translation, the Good News translation, says it's like a cancer. Oh my goodness. So we cannot be walking around with anger and bitterness and envy and jealousy and all of those things, constant backbiting, because it affects your bones. It affects your body. So those are the things we've been discussing for the last 2 weeks, and I hope that I have convinced you to keep a check on things, and we're going to show you how to do that before we end this segment. I'm going to pray for you, and you are going to begin to notice an increase in your ability to manage your emotions. I do not believe that the Lord told me to do this program unless He was going to help us do that. And I do believe He helped me to research all of this and get it prepared for you. And I do therefore believe it's going to help you. So let's take a look. I want to go right to this. This is a fascinating chart that comes from the UK. It comes from the Sheffield Children's NHS Foundation. Now, the NHS is actually the National Health Service of England, and they have released this chart. Look at this. This is just an initial screen with blank bodies, okay? You see here, you've got these two pictures on the left. They use those pictures below to indicate the bodily sensations you feel when you experience sadness. All right, so it says for this body, please color the regions whose activities become stronger or faster. For this one, so that you see like a baseline right there. Okay, now look at B, section B. These are the activations. This is what happens when there was intense sadness that was felt over a while. Okay, so this is when it was activated, and then that was upon deactivation, the one next to it. Now look at the one next to it. This is subject-wise combined activation deactivation map, and this is when it is unchecked, when the sadness goes on and on and on. Look how you go from that baseline of blue all the way up to this. This is basically, thermal photography, and you see how it changes. Your body temperature changes. You see the chart there on the right. But you see how there is like this intense change in your actual biochemistry that happens when you feel emotions, when you feel sadness. Now, look at these. Are you ready for this? Look at this chart. Anger. Look at the color of anger. Look at the color of fear and disgust. Look at happiness. Woo, you feel happiness all over. Look at that. You just feel happiness all over. Okay, slide all the way down on the right. You see the neutral guy? That's neutral. That's normal. That's nothing. All right, then surprise next to him, he's just kind of lit up on top, right? Sadness, that's very consistent with what we saw in the previous picture from Sheffield, is that you have that blue base, and then you begin to, it looks like your heart hurts, doesn't it? Look at that. It just looks like your heart begins to hurt. And then look down bottom row. This is anxiety. Love. Ooh, looks like you feel love all over. Depression. Yeah, that's another one. To me, it reminds me of sadness, but it just looks dead in the middle. That's just so sad. If you've ever been depressed or ever felt very, very sad, or not clinical depression necessarily, but that feeling is all encompassing. And look at that, depression. Okay, next to it, look at contempt. This is such anger that you ready to just somebody, okay? That is what contempt is. And it's interesting to me, it looks like it's all in the mind. It looks like it's mainly taking place up here. Pride. Look at the similarity between pride and happiness. And I think this is fascinating because it's the same from like the waist up, almost from the chest up. And that's why sometimes I think when you're proud of a child and you say, oh, I'm proud, but the good kind of pride, it's that happiness. And so that's exciting. The similarities there, but you don't want to be dead on the back end, right? Look at how black it is on the bottom. Shame, envy. Now look at this chart. I don't even know how on earth we would get through that, but that actually comes from the PNAS, and that's just one of the world's most cited and comprehensive, multidisciplinary scientific journals. And so that's just one chart for you. My goodness, look at all of those different emotions, negative, positive, illnesses. Some of them are cognitive, some of them are not, but mercy, we have to keep a check on them. All right, I want to read some scriptures over you. 1 Peter 5:7. Cast all of your anxiety on him because he cares for you. This verse emphasizes the importance of surrendering worries and anxieties to God. Philippians 4:6-7. Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation by prayer and petition with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and mind in Christ Jesus. Of course, Galatians 5:22-23. The fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control, against which there is no law. Proverbs 15:1. A soft answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. And Ephesians 4:26-27. Be angry and do not sin. Do not let the sun go down on your anger, and give no opportunity to the devil. I got to read this one. Romans 12:2. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind, that by testing you may discern what is the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect. So these are just a few of the scriptures that you can quote over yourself, along with, yes, tapping into the joy of the Lord, the spirit of self-control, and just seeking his help in every situation that you find yourself in emotionally, so that your mind is renewed, you're taking every thought captive, and you're not venturing off of that bridge, walking that plank off into a world of mental illness. I hope this has helped you. I would love to hear from you. You can write me at laura@thethree.tv. And remember, you can always get in touch with me at thelifedoc.org, thelifedoc.org, and that is going to allow you to book an online telehealth consultation with me as a naturopathic doctor, and we can help you get to the bottom of some of the things that are affecting you emotionally that might be making you sick. We don't want that, do we? All right, another great episode of The Three. I'm Dr. Laura, and we will see you next time on The Three. Bye-bye for now.